Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Wrong Turn 2 Dead End. Evil Awaits.
Directed by Joe Lynch, starring Henry Rollins, Erica Leerhsen, Texas Battle, Alexa Palladino, Daniela Alonso, Steve Braun, and Ken Kersinger as Pa. This movie's about a reality TV show where 6 contestants need to survive the wilderness. But what they don't know is they also need to survive some inbred mutant cannibal hillbillies. We will be talking spoilers in this review, just a heads up. This is a very sought after review, and we promised it 2 years ago, and then we forgot to do the whole series. But now we actually are doing the series because we hit a goal on Patreon, and this got the most amount of votes. So we're gonna be covering the entire franchise. So what do we like? I like that they were integrating reality TV. This was mid-2000s. Reality TV was massive. The opening scene even has like an American Idol star who got an awesome vertical split death, by the way. But I like the way that they had like all the different stereotypes, and they all had these headpieces so you could see the found footage style throughout the film. And because of this, they were able to like edit it in a faster pace and just kind of consistently change things up.
Yeah, and the reality TV element is nice because even like when Jonesy points it out like halfway through where he's like, oh no, it's all just staged, like seriously, nothing bad is going to happen. That's what you want in a horror movie. One person knows that what they're witnessing is real, and like another person is just like, no, it's fake, because then you get that conflict, and then when they realize it's real, that's when they panic.
Holy shit. That's her leg.
So it was a nice touch story-wise. It allowed the characters to develop in a different way, which I enjoyed our characters. We had a good variety.
I'm a survivor because I know there's only one person I can count on. Myself.
They were stereotypically casted, but that's not what their personality traits were. And I thought that was really clever and fun.
Yeah, like this has a whole kind of meta tone to it. Because as an audience watching a reality show, you would expect certain people to act a certain way. And so did the producers and the filmmakers of this reality show. And they were caught off guard too.
I want to create chemistry between you two, okay? You guys are like the sex of this thing.
You said you wanted a family reality show.
I want to see hard bodies, wet and glistening in the sun.
Look, if I do that, I have a mother and 6 nieces that will never speak to me again.
The fact that like even the producers of the in-movie reality show were thrown off as well, it just adds another layer to things. And even just some of the early decisions and breaking the fourth wall from a lot of our characters, you know that they're poking fun at both the reality TV aspects as well as horror stuff, especially with like Henry Rollins' character. He's definitely going full Predator and just like putting on paint and then looking hard into the camera. It's pretty evident that they're just having fun here, and I loved it.
Henry Rollins' character, Dale Murphy, is this like ex-soldier who's like running this apocalyptic show. The second he went one-on-one with one of like the backwood hillbilly guys, it was just like, all right, I want to see this showdown, because you want to see him like in the camo, just like sneaking and just killing them. You have someone who you could get behind to try and see everyone survive.
Completely unrelated, he was one of my favorite characters in Def Jam. Love that guy.
I like that we got backstory. Wrong Turn 1, you don't get a full understanding as to what their whole story is, and we get a really cool scene with Henry Rollins' character meets an old man in the woods who ends up being the father of this family. You get all your exposition, and it makes sense.
Yes, in a weird horror movie logic kind of way. I also just like the hillbillies themselves. They look great because yes, they are grotesque, but it's not completely overdone. Well, I guess it is kind of overdone, but not as overdone as future entries in this franchise are. They look cool, they're menacing, and they have their own like characteristics about them. Like you can tell like there's a brother and sister, there's a mother and father. The father is like trying to raise his young. He's teaching them how to hunt and just like do regular things. So it's interesting to see that side of these cannibals because you usually don't see that kind of thing in horror movies.
And it was also nice that we had like females. The women in this family were heavily involved and just as vicious when they were attacking their prey. I liked our kills in this film. When someone died on screen, you felt the kill. The one I liked surprisingly the most is the arrow through both heads, because I wasn't expecting like a 2-for-1 kill there, but it looked cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. Like I said, the intro kill was probably my favorite just because it was so well done. You see the practical halves getting like dragged off screen. You're not gonna top that. That's the best kill in the movie, easily.
But not even just the kills. When people get cut or hit, you actually like feel everything. Everything that you showed, you kind of just like went back like, oh, that hurts.
They did a really great job with both the acting as well as the sound effects that accompanied these actions. Now, what didn't we like? Well, I like the kills. I wish there were a few more. At least ones that had a little bit more gore. I mean, you do see gore because they're cannibals and they're chopping up bodies and stuff. But when you see somebody get split in half right at the beginning, you're like, oh shit, that really sets the pace. And you never get back to that like high again. There are still fun moments with Henry Rollins sneaking around and blowing people up and stuff, but it's not the same feeling. I don't think that Mara should have been on the show because she's a producer. She knew what was going on. Didn't make any sense. Like, it seems like cheating to me. You know, like she knows where all those little like trap wires are gonna be. And she was kind of ruining it for Nina. Like her and Nina are kind of going through the forest together. She's like, oh no, we need to go do this. It's like, come on, I'm playing the game. That's cheating. And also Nina, our like Avril Lavigne girl, she really came around really quickly. Like she went from being an ultra bitch and even calling it out.
If you haven't noticed, I can be a bit of a bitch.
I didn't really get it. Like she was keeping to herself. She had maybe like the smallest conversation and then her whole attitude changed.
I can't believe I did it! You kicked ass!
It did feel a little force-fed when they were developing the characters to make us like them. Each character basically had a trait where we were supposed to like feel bad for them. Other than really Jonesy, there isn't like one person you're like, oh, I can't wait till like that D-bag dies. And I think that's kind of what this film missed. Elena died pretty early, and then like M had his like off-screen moment. There wasn't anyone in the party that you really hated. You needed like that antagonist, I felt, to like counterbalance like the ones you're rooting for.
Like Jonesy was the closest, you're right.
I only give it up to winners, not guys who choke.
I'll give you something to choke on.
I didn't love him, so I wanted him to die fairly quickly.
You only didn't like him because he was annoying. He wasn't like, I'm gonna push you people over into this trap to save my own hide.
You're right, and there should have been somebody like that, because especially when it comes to knowing how reality shows work, they pick people specifically to drive tension and conflict in the group. I mean, I've watched, I don't know, 15 seasons of Big Brother. There's always an instigator, and here there wasn't one.
Who's got a number 2? Well, I did a number 2 back at the gas station.
I also don't love that they kind of ditched the reality TV show about halfway through, because they were building up to certain moments, especially when it came with those like tripwires. Like they utilized them one time and it felt like there could have been more like almost fake outs or just more of the reality TV stuff mixed in. Yes, the cameras were still used throughout the film, but I don't know, they just kind of like forgot about the reality stuff. They all took off their tags, they threw them down, they took off their cameras and continued on once there was hillbillies. So it just changed the entire kind of vibe of the movie.
If you want to compare this to something, you look at like Halloween, you had like an audience watching or someone like actually seeing what was happening. And in this case, we didn't even get that in the production truck. We had like the fake out, but that's it. And they really needed something to tie in this reality, like a producer, a PA, anyone, just to be like going through and be like, hey, what's this person doing here? Like adding to that element of the story.
Right, because everyone's wearing their cameras for a very specific reason, so that you can see it from the production truck. And if no one's there to see bad shit happening on the screen, why does it exist? Because it doesn't add anything, except it did help us because it's fun to jump between found footage and snorri cam and just regular stuff, but it didn't add any element to the actual story itself other than the intro and the setup to get people into the woods with no phones. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Wrong Turn 2 was one of those movies that I think was better than the original, but only by a slight margin. It had better kills and I liked the setup a little bit more, and it was also more self-aware. I like the way that they weaved in the reality TV show aspect because I find that just fun all the time. I like that we also got some backstory to our hillbillies and their overall look and just like the family feel of them. The characters were solid and well while I like the stereotypes and the kind of flip that they did, I still think that they needed kind of like more internal conflict, because aside from Jonesy not believing Nina for about 3 seconds, there really isn't any. Everybody's working together, which, especially in a reality TV show setting, that's not really how it works. I mean, everyone has alliances and they don't believe each other and everyone lies to each other. And that kind of element could have been added to this kind of thing when it's survival of the fittest. They didn't kind of work that in enough. I also wish that we had a few more solid kills, because what we saw early on, I just was hoping for more of that and we didn't get it. At the end of the day, I still enjoyed myself and I look forward to checking out the rest of the franchise. So I'm gonna give this 3 Battle Royale shirts out of 5.
Wrong Turn 2 definitely feels different than the first film. Story-wise, I think the first one wins, but in this one, I just like the kills and the characters and just the overall pacing of this film. It was a lot more fun and upbeat. Everything that you saw on screen, whether it was a kill or someone getting hurt, you felt the impact, and there were moments with characters that you cared about that you wanted to see them like succeed and get out of here. I really liked Henry Rollins' character in this one, because you have someone that's believable that could stand up against all of these backwood hillbillies, and that's kind of what I was looking forward to the most. But again, we didn't have that conflict that you thought you would get. There wasn't any real characters that I disliked, and especially because the way they developed the characters, it was almost force-fed for us to want to root for every single one of these people to get out. I do like that we got exposition, because now as the franchise continues, we know why they're there and what they're all about. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 3.5 backwood blowjobs out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything Bloodbath and beyond.